Everybody 9420.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the 9420 podcast, where we waste our time and yours.
It's all pretty simple. It's not a big deal. You open your mouth, you let the words out, you say what you feel. And there shouldn't be pressure. This isn't a test. It's not who comes first, or how much it's worth, or which one's the best. And I know sometimes it seems like you're standing still, and the sun won't shine. Trust me, it will. Stop looking and you'll find it. Stop waiting, it'll come. And stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard to be someone. Cause it isn't who's special, cause everyone's that. We're all where we've been, on the outside and in, wherever we're at. And it isn't who's smarter, and it's never who's tough. The fact that you're here should make it all clear. You're more than enough. And I know some days everything seems all wrong. Well, you won't hear me say, just try and be strong. No. Stop looking and you'll find it. Stop waiting, it'll come. And stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard to be someone who expects, then reviews and rejects, with his back to the wall, criticizing it all, always looking for flaws as he's slamming his doors in the face that he sees every day. Stop looking and you'll find it. Stop waiting, it'll come. And stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard. Stop trying so hard to be someone. Someone. You already are. Someone.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the 9420 podcast. That was Someone by Carl Alaco. Hi Carl and Greg, how are you both doing?
Hey.
Hi, Nicole. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Carl.
It's so good to see you guys again.
That song is called Someone. It's a re-recording of a song I wrote back in 1998, whose message is just as real today as it was then, though I was too young to fully appreciate the wisdom in my own words.
Okay, so the fact that you wrote that back in 1998, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this would have been something that in my angsty teen youth, I would have 100% like turned on and listened to, and like over and over and over again, probably like scratch the CD with it. So it makes sense that that was written in 1998, because for me, teenage years was like early 2000s.
Yeah, it seems to me like I love the message, and it's like I remember the song from back in the day, and I've always felt like that was like kind of a you never wrote things that I immediately heard for other artists, but I always thought that song would have been something that somebody would have wanted to cover. Particularly, I don't know when Wicked was written, but that feels like a kind of a exploratory kind of conversation that Glinda would have had with, whoever the other character in that Wicked
Elphaba.
is. Elphaba, yeah. So, I mean, that just kind of, that felt like that to me. It felt like that to me back then. It felt theatrical in some respect, but it's great. So is that the original recording, or is that a new rendering? Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. It's really, I think I'm fascinated to hear, with all the hullabaloo associated with AI, I'm fascinated to hear your work because I think for the most part, and maybe you disagree, I think for the most part, the arrangements are bettering the original recordings. Do you agree? Yeah.
I think they're not now.
Yeah, I think they're interesting. Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to put up, right?
Yep.
They talked about what we've been doing these last 2 years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention.
You got married.
Oh, and I forgot to mention in the last episode what we've been doing these last 2 years. Well, besides my surgery, I also, wait for it, got married. October of 24, Evelyn and I had this nice, quiet little reception at a beautiful vineyard on Long Island. Only about 25 friends and family. It was pretty cool. Can you believe it? After all these years, I finally took the plunge. It took a while, but it was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Stop looking and you'll find it, right?
I still couldn't believe when we got that text message with the photo of you guys, and all it says was, "We're married."
I think it's so cool. My initial impressions were that when you sent me, I didn't know Evelyn, and when you sent me the first draft of the book that you've written, I was just like, man, heck with Carl, I want to meet this person. It's extraordinary. It really is amazing, and I meant it when I put on the Facebook recently. It's like you posted a picture of the two of you. I'm like rock star, and Carl too.
Did you hear that Clive Davis died?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was fired from Columbia Records back in the 1970s over an embezzlement scandal. He then started Arista Records with Barry Manilow as one of its flagship artists. But once Manilow's sales and popularity began to decline, Davis dropped him from the label.
Well,
That's crazy.
but isn't that something that you do, actually? I don't think that anybody can be held accountable for the kind of ruthless business decisions that they make in the music industry, man. I mean, fact of the matter is that if you work for a label, you're in the business, or have been in the business, of kind of screwing people, I mean, that's the way I've looked at it.
It's a very interesting
The major labels
business,
anyway, not
like,
the independents.
approach that, like, as he got more popular, he cut him from his roster when he could have made him tons and tons of money.
No, but Clive would know that.
Well,
And then Barry wrote Arista Records. 90 other songs that made Arista Records. So
Yeah.
basically Barry made his new career. So have some loyalty. I'm sorry.
I thought he had amazing years, actually. I mean, but I'm biased because when I was running a little independent publishing company in Nashville, one of my first cuts, I heard through the grapevine that Clive had said that it was a smash hit. So I was so excited. Of course, it didn't do anything. I didn't even we didn't even get it. It wasn't even released as a single and ended up being an album cut.
He also claimed he discovered Janis Joplin. The truth is, he was late to the rock and roll party. He just happened to be at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967, saw the excitement surrounding the acts there, and signed her because she was one of the few major acts there who was still unsigned. I don't think he had much instinct for rock music. I never saw him as a visionary.
Would you say he was a visionary in like R&B? I mean,
Sure, he signed Whitney Houston, but that seemed like an obvious move. He was no David Geffen or Ahmet Ertegun. To me, Clive Davis always felt more like a businessman than a true music visionary.
Do you think
I
that he
always
was
thought
a
he was
good,
a really good song guy, but that's just me. I don't know that
I was going to
much
say,
about
do you
it.
think he was a good businessman?
Well, I think that, I mean, it's a relative term because, I mean, there are people that will tell you that David Geffen was not always a shining example of morality in business, right? So, but yeah,
I disagree.
well, I just think when you start talking about, people's business acumen and what they've accomplished, you're going to piss some people off if you become a legend in whatever business you're in.
But
You're going to
Benson,
piss a bunch of people off.
I believe David Benson has loyalty.
Part of the business, as far as I'm concerned, part of the business is the moving and the shaking. And who hasn't experienced, if you've been in the music industry, who hasn't experienced, a night of revelry or a night of, kind of untoward dealings? I mean, it's a very odd thing to say it's a business, and it's also an odd thing to say you're particularly great at it and somebody else is not so good at it. I mean, the fact that he stayed in that label environment for decades and decades and decades, it's extremely cutthroat, right? So,
I had a million other other stuff, which is
Yep.
done seven.
I always said as a music publisher, I had a healthy disrespect for anybody that worked for a major label, just bottom line. I never could get anybody that worked for a major label to pay attention to what I was trying to build or to pay attention to something that I thought was extraordinary. Yeah, I
It's all
think that's
about
part
money.
of it. Yeah, I was operating as an indie the entire time. But even as an emissary from, one of three performing rights organizations at that time, even as an emissary from a major performing rights organization, it seemed as if the major label people were in their own damn world, So
Do you still think it's that way based off of
I don't know.
how it's
I wouldn't be
changed?
able to. I wouldn't be able to tell you from experience. I've been off the streets for so many years, but I believe about 10 or 15 years ago, there was this movement towards giving people that were surrounding the artists kind of agency to actually pitch them. And so I think maybe the labels were paying attention to these people that would bring producers to their attention, or the A&R people would, they literally called themselves A&R people, but they didn't work for the label. They worked for management. They worked for the artist. So maybe the music industry, in regard to major labels, like softened a little bit, or maybe there were a couple of entries in that you didn't have 20 years ago. But I don't know. I don't know the answer. Uh, the other thing that I find really curious is that I do not know how artists today, writers today, creative people today in the music world, I do not know what their expectations are for making a living, because I can't see any, you know, and so that's just
I
me.
feel
That's
a
me.
lot of them go more the route of influencer now, where they're trying to like get brand deals and promote different products that they're using, and their music almost becomes
With their
secondary
music.
in
Yeah.
the hopes that like they go viral, or a label notices them, or a specific manager notices them, or a show notices them. There's someone I follow on TikTok called Emily Ann Roberts. She was a finalist, I think, for The Voice maybe like 10, 15 years ago. And she just now was signed by a label, I want to say the beginning of this year. And it took her pushing every single day for like 10 or 15 years, but it's because she has a following over I think 1.5 million now, that the labels finally were like, oh, you've put the work in, you make your own money, we'll now invest in you, type thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they used to, I mean, they've been doing that for 15 years. I mean, what are your socials, and whether or not we work with you, we'll decide based on your audience. But I don't think that audience can be relied upon for anything. I mean, I worked with an artist about 10 years ago, you know, and I was hammering the same thing. You know, we got to get your socials up. We got to get your socials up. We got to get your socials up. We decided to take about 3 months and do a couple projects and see if we could get some kind of open rate, some kind of influence over that audience's ability to pay the artist $20. And out of 100,000 people, I don't think we got 100 people to pay $20. You know, so thank you. Perfectly timed and perfectly appropriate.
So is there anything anyone can talk about that might be interesting to our audience?
No. No.
I did go to a Savannah Banana game 2 weekends ago,
What's
so that
that?
was fun.
Now, was that in Nashville?
Well, it was. So actually, and it sparked a thought when I was there. So the Savannah Bananas, or I guess what they call it now, Banana Ball, is a theatrical baseball game. It's
Right.
people who have the athletic ability to play baseball, like whether they were on like a AAA team or a college team, but they haven't transitioned to be in like the Major League Baseball yet.
Yeah.
They started this league maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, where they do a baseball game, but they add entertainment value to it. So they dance during it, they have crazy stunts, they do TikTok dances, they bring out special guests, but it's like a 2-hour show that they do with baseball in it.
They have skills, but not quite the skills that have you losing more home games than any time in the history of
Right. Like they
like my Boston Red Sox. Yeah.
the people come, like I would say they started with 2 teams, Savannah Bananas, which kind of blew up on TikTok, which is why they're kind of where they're at right now, and Party Animals. And now they've got 6 teams, I think, total within the series, and they play each other, and at the end of the season they do like a World Series type thing where Party Animals won the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get tickets. That's the one thing. Like, we've been trying for 3 years, and my little
Really?
my little sister happens to have the touch of getting on their wait list and being able to like get a city, get in, and get tickets. So she got for Nashville this year, and she came down and we all went to the game together. Kenzie had a blast.
I think it sounds super fun. I mean, when I was growing up, and Carl, I don't know if you ever attended, but if you or if you knew, but the Harlem Globetrotters were the same kind of act, where they were professional basketball players, but they traveled with the team that they would play against, and they were called the Washington Generals. And I always make the joke every time we watch the NFL every year. I'm like, our team, the Tennessee Titans, are the Washington Generals of the NFL. You know,
They're so
because
bad.
they're just so terrible. And so, of course, the Washington Generals traveled with the. It sounds like what you're describing with What are the other teams they play? The Bananas
so
play other teams.
The Savannah Bananas, Party Animals, Tailgaters, Firefighters, and then there's 2 other teams I think they added this year that I don't remember the names of, but they play each other, and then sometimes they'll invite like minor league teams to play with them depending on the schedule. But they're selling out like not just baseball stadiums per se. Like they played at the Sound Stadium here,
right.
But they've sold out Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, what's the University of Tennessee field? The Neyland Stadium.
Yeah,
they've sold out Neyland Stadium and things like that, but the wait list is so long, it's so hard to get tickets for.
That's crazy. I had no idea that there'd be a wait list for tickets to see that. That's, I think it's encouraging in certain respects. I mean, although, are you a baseball fan?
Oh yeah, I'm a Mets fan.
So you go to MLB games.
Well, we don't have an MLB team here, but when we're back in New York, we try and
Right. I mean, we used to we'd have to go to Atlanta to see Boston. Carl, do you go to Yankees games? Or do you just buy the hat?
I'll say it again. Is there anything anyone can talk about that might be interesting to our
I think
audience?
this is interesting.
Jeez.
I think the whole banana ball aspect is interesting, and I'll bring it back to the music industry, because when we were there for the full 2 hours, something that popped into my mind is, what kind of licensing do they play? Because they never stop the music. Like, it is like 30-second clips that they must have someone put together for them of like every type of music under the sun that you could think of that is like party aspect. And it like blew my mind how many different artists they were able to like go through within those 2 hours, and finally at the end it was like silence, and it was like, oh, this is interesting.
They likely pay top dollar to ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, and I can't think of the name of it, because that's the only way you can actually feature that kind of music in those stadiums is by paying the public performance right a lot of GMR.
I think Greg has slipped back into the void.
Yeah, well, there's no question about that. When you asked me at the beginning of the podcast how I was dealing with the heat, I actually have restarted my little fly fishing school for people in alcohol and drug treatment programs, and so literally, I'm sitting here sweating right now. Literally an hour ago, I was on the river trying to prepare some things for tomorrow's sessions, which there'll be 4 of them, 4 90-minute sessions tomorrow, and the heat index is 110 degrees. So I don't know how well I'm doing with the heat. I suppose I'll be okay. It's hot.
I guess we'll know tomorrow if we get any text messages from you.
I mean, if this is the In Memoriam podcast, yeah, we'll know. But
there's no
it's really,
heat
it's really
index
hot out there. But I'm pretty committed to reestablishing this little fly fishing routine, which is.
They don't have any like heat index rules where if like it goes above a certain degree, you have
It's
to.
95 in New York right now. Yeah, so yeah, it's similar here in the heat index. Yeah, Nicole, I think that what we do when it gets above 90 degrees is we make this kind of programming optional, so that people can sit in the air
Feels
conditioning.
like 107 now.
Yeah, 107 is the index. Yeah. So, but if you're going to decide that there's mindfulness and there's therapeutic value in these kinds of activities, you just suffer it, So
Do you still do the drum circle?
yeah, the drum circle is very, very, very successful, and I just have a ball doing it. Essentially, what I do is I have about 20. Right, I have about 25 to 30 djembes that I make available to these programs, and I have a kind of a little lecture that precedes playing and it's a great experience. I call it Rumble Cult Drum Club. And for people that have never experienced something like that before, it's really amazing the kind of therapeutic value you can get out of it. It literally physically manifests mindfulness in people, and they don't even know, because your body takes over when you sustain a natural rhythm for a certain period of time. And Carl's familiar. Carl built my little website. It's called rumblecult.com. So anybody listening here that's interested in me bringing the utterly fantastic,
I put the link.
yeah, awesome, yeah, let's put the link in. I mean, it's like I am I am committed to doing this every day of my life for the rest of my working life. 10 years. And it isn't easy, but once it's set up and once you're ready to play, the magic happens 100% of the time. It's pretty cool. I'm
Carl,
really
have you ever done?
very
Have
excited
you
about
ever done one of Greg's drum circles or no?
No. We have not done the New York City version yet, but that would be something cool to do. I have got a 25-person bell tent that I can set up in the park, in Central Park. Carl, you think we'd get a ticket? I think we would.
Have I ever told you my Daryl Hall story?
No.
No.
During Dreamer's short stint with Tommy Mottola and Champion Entertainment, their biggest act at the time was Hall & Oates. We landed a gig at my father's place in Roslyn, probably the hippest club on Long Island back then. Everyone from Bruce Springsteen to Billy Joel to the Police had played there. It was a big get for us, and I think it was the first time Tommy came out to see us live. Apparently, he didn't want to come alone, so he brought Daryl Hall with him. We were backstage getting ready when Tommy came in, said hello, and asked me to come out. There was someone he wanted me to meet. I said sure and followed him out to the bar. Sitting there on a stool, completely at ease, was Daryl Hall. Leather jacket, hands in his pockets, like he owned the room. Tommy said, "Daryl, this is Carl from Dreamer, the new band we just signed." I went to shake his hand. He didn't take it out of his pocket. Instead, he sort of leaned forward and offered me his coat pocket. I remember thinking, is this guy serious? I said, "You want me to shake your coat?" He smirked. I think I told him to fuck off. I'm pretty sure I did. Then I turned and walked back to the dressing room. A few minutes later, Tommy came in and apologized for him. Looking back, I probably could have handled it better. I could have made a joke out of it, played it differently, maybe even turned it into the start of a relationship. In this business, I've learned a lot comes down to that, relationships. Having Daryl Hall in your corner wouldn't have hurt, but at the time I was cocky. And back then, even if I wasn't wrong, if you handed me your coat pocket, I wasn't shaking it.
That's just an odd thing to request to shake. Like,
Yeah, he was just, maybe a germaphobe or something like that. But
No,
I mean,
an asshole.
I've heard such strange affectations about people in the public. I heard from a friend that knew Billy Bob Thornton pretty well that Billy Bob takes his own eating utensils with him everywhere he goes, because he has a phobia for like plastic eating utensils, or he doesn't trust the eating utensils at hotels and restaurants and this kind of stuff. Just weird shit like that. So that's the reason you got offered the pocket instead of the hand. People allow themselves. I think if people are creative, if people are artistic, if people allow themselves to operate in this kind of ether of creativity, I think they start getting affectations that like turn other people off, quite frankly, because it's rude, right? But it sounds as if you handled it correctly by saying fuck off.
that's like people people who carry ranch in their bag. Like, it's just weird. I don't know.
Right, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Pull out the bag, like the bottle of ranch at like the
Yeah,
restaurant.
I've heard that Daryl Hall is a very difficult guy. I actually, and I wanted to give a little shout out to the memory of a person that kind of became my big brother in the industry and who I was a big fan of, and he was a very, very, very dear friend. I worked with him for a long, long time. His name was Gary Burke. He was the drummer for
He passed?
Joe Jackson for many years. He also, he passed away. Gary passed away a couple of months ago, and so I just wanted to give a shout. You didn't know Carl? Yeah. I think you'd met Gary a time or two. I think.
Can you play with us? Can you play with me?
Yep, exactly. He was. Yep.
Black?
Extraordinary player. I mean, just an amazing player. But I think of Gary, and I wanted to give a shout out and say R.I.P. But the reason I thought of Gary off the top of my head is that he introduced me to a guy named T-Bone Woke. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
T-Bone Woke was this, he's passed away too, but he was this extraordinary bass player,
Right.
and he was actually Hall & Oates music director for decades, and he had the very famous lamb chops. If you've ever seen old clips, Nicole, of Saturday Night Live back in the day, he's the guy that was playing in the band with those big
like mutton chops,
mutton chops, and he always wore a floppy hat. Yeah, that's T-Bone. He was an amazing guy, and in contrast to our friend Daryl there, T-Bone was an amazing guy. He would call me, and we'd get together every time I was in New York. So he was a really super cool guy, and Gary introduced me. They worked together a lot because Gary was based in in the Woodstock area.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about him.
Well,
'Cause
Gary.
You've talked about him many times.
God bless
on
him.
the podcast.
He was an extraordinary human being, a wonderful, wonderful player. I highly recommend that people go back and listen for Gary Burke's performances because they're really incredible.
How old was Gary?
Gary was 77.
Oh, wow.
So believe
Still
me
young.
when I tell you that. Well, that's nice of you to say, but 77's old AF as far as I'm concerned.
I feel like now, though, like a lot of people are living to like 85, 90, 95. So like
I guess
76
they
is
are,
still
and I don't
young.
feel too terrible. How about you, Carl? I mean, I feel all right, and I'm careening towards 70.
I'm 70.
Yeah, I know. You
So-
turned 70 recently. I mean, you look like you're 45, 40.
I'm turning 40 this year, so
Well, you look like a kid. I'm sorry, you do. You're one of those people, though, that I think you get to be young, look young, for years and years and years and years and years. It's just some people are like that.
why don't we listen to our second song by Carl today?
Cool.
All right, so this is called I'd Love to Live My Life Again.
The next song is called I'd Love to Live My Life Again. It's a new recording of a 4-track demo I wrote back in the 80s. Amazing to think I felt that way all those years ago.
Picture postcards looking back. How come I feel so nostalgic? Wish I could rewind those tracks and listen one more time. Letters written, letters sent, words that seem to hold some magic. I guess all that time I spent on memories left behind. Some were painted
The tagline. And what are you singing at the end?
I do it all over.
He'd do it all over again.
All over. Okay, yeah. So the thing I think is cool about that is that most people say, I'd like to live my life again because they have regret. What I think you're trying to communicate, or at least what I get from it, is that you would be open to doing it all again because you keep learning. You know,
But I wrote that when I was 25.
yeah, so it's implicit.
You were young, yeah.
It's implicit that, you know, you're kind of wanting, you're embracing change. So, I mean, maybe you've done that. Maybe you've embraced all these changes from 25 to 70, you know? So, I like it.
It's a nice pop song.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I love the melody.
I'm glad I really heard it.
Yeah, the melody's awesome.
I'm glad you did too.
Yeah.
It's fun. Both songs today were great. Like,
So,
I'm not admit Netflix to start with other artists.
are
Right?
you going
Yeah,
to have...
next-
Are you going to have a whole season's worth of these recreations? Because I think this is, for me, this is working as a format. I would like for you to keep finding stuff to recreate.
Maybe a 2 episode down the road, but right now it's enough.
yeah, right now we're going to start going through all of the submissions because
Oh,
believe it
really?
or
We're
not,
going to do that again?
even though we have been gone for 2 years, people have still found us and submitted and all the things. From like we have
Okay, so-
Australia,
All right, so I have
like all the places.
So I have a really difficult question for you. Mm-hmm. So when we did this before, I think there was some feeling that these are people that have a lot of experience in the music industry, and what they say might be valid for me going forward. Well, I've been out of the music business proper for a long, long time. So are we relevant enough to actually give people our opinion about this music and
Absolutely.
what they can do
I
with
mean,
it?
who cares if you've been out of it for a couple of years? We still get to have opinions about it based off of our own experiences. So,
Well, I just, week after week after week, I say, yeah, that sounds like such and such or so and so from 1973. And people are like, yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
love that now, though.
Go
They
on,
love being
boomer.
able to like be compared to songs from back in the day. So,
Go on, boomer.
No, we are totally irrelevant. That's the point.
again, the new podcast tagline is "We waste our time and yours." So, it's fine.
And then,
I
We're
just
done.
think, I just think the business we tolerate, you know, I think the business is like, I don't know, maybe it exists for others. It certainly doesn't exist for people that I know and love. You know,
Hello? Hello?
I don't know if we're trying to wrap this up, but
Okay.
have you? There's Carla. Have you read that a lot of tours are closing down and canceling because they can't sell tickets?
I actually haven't
Why
read
can't
that.
they sell tickets? It's because they're charging $750 to sit your ass on a seat and drink a bad drink and watch a show that's likely too loud, too long, and irrelevant in and of itself.
I've actually seen that a lot of the artists are also going to smaller venues just to be able to fill the seats too. That cost less. So,
I just think that the post-COVID days of people willing to spend $2,000 on a date night to see a band, I think they may be waning. I hope they are.
I think you're right.
But once again,
And
I mean,
let's
I
not
think-
get started on Taylor Swift's wedding at Madison Square
I
Garden.
wasn't even going to bring up her name, but now you have opened a can of worms.
Oh yeah, you did it. We didn't talk. We didn't mention Taylor Swift on the last one, right?
No, I think the goal is to not mention her. So,
Oh well, I don't know.
have fun being in Manhattan this weekend, Carl.
I get to meet the people. Last year, I got to meet the people that are in charge of a lot of goings on at Madison Square Garden. And they're really cool people. I really enjoyed my interactions with them. I'm sure they're thrilled that there's going to be. I'm
Greg
sure
cares. That's what
I'm
matters.
sure they're thrilled that Taylor is going to be. I'm surprised she's not getting married at the Sphere, because Madison Square Garden owns the Sphere. That makes more sense to me. Do it
Now,
at the
is it
Sphere.
confirmed that she's getting married
Can you
at Madison Square Garden,
Can
or
you
is it still a
imagine the
rumor?
rice flying in the Sphere? Can you imagine the doves? Can you imagine the
Have you been to the
magical
Sphere?
world of matrimony that could be created at the Sphere?
Right.
I don't know. My parents said that seeing the Wizard of Oz in the Sphere was very realistic during the tornado scene. So
They saw the
they saw the Wizard of Oz in the Sphere, and then they also saw fish at the Sphere.
oh yeah, that's right. I had no idea, I had no concept of your parents as hippies, but
They're not hippies. That's the fun part. My mom was literally listening to the Spotify playlist like a couple weeks beforehand just to make sure she knew some of the songs.
so are they making that a destination trip to go to the Sphere, or? Hey, the rock
Hi.
star.
I don't think I can hear him.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hi.
They say hi when they can't hear me.
Right. I think that's right.
Carl. And recently retired too, which is that's a story in and of itself.
She's happy.
You guys get to spend all your time together now.
Right. All right. It's representation.
All right, everyone. It's about on time to get on out of here. Make sure that you listen. Well, no, you don't have to listen all the way through because there is no other song.
9420. Everybody 90.